Shalom, shalom. Today will be Ezekiel 36 through 40. And you, son of man, prophesy to the mountains of Israel, and you shall say, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh, because the enemy has said of you, Aha, the heights of old have become our possession. Therefore prophesy, and you shall say, Thus said the Master Yahweh, because they laid you waste and swallowed you up on every side, so that you became the possession of the rest of the nations, and you are taken up by the lips of talkers and slandered by the people. Therefore, O mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Master Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh, to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, and to the deserted ruins, and to the cities that have been forsaken, which became a prey and a mocking to the rest of the nations all around. Therefore thus said the Master Yahweh, have I not spoken in my burning jealousy against the rest of the nations and against all Edom, who gave my land to themselves as a possession, with all joy of heart, with scorn in their being, to drive it out for prey? Therefore prophesy concerning the land of Israel, and you shall say to mountains, and to hills, to rivers, and to valleys, Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I have spoken in my jealousy and my wrath, because you have borne the shame of the nations. Therefore thus said the Master Yahweh, I have lifted my hand in an oath that the nations that are around you shall bear their own shame. But you, O mountains of Israel, put forth your branches and bear your fruit to my people Israel, for they are about to come. For look, I am for you, and I shall turn to you, and you shall be tilled and sown. And I shall increase men upon you, all the house of Israel, all of it. And the cities shall be inhabited, and the ruins rebuilt. And I shall increase upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bear young, and I shall make you inhabited as of old, and do better for you than at your beginnings. And you shall know that I am Yahweh. And I shall let men, my people Israel, walk upon you, and let them possess you, and you shall be their inheritance, and no longer let you add to their bereavement. Thus said the Master Yahweh, because they say to you, You devour men, and have bereaved your nation. Therefore you shall no longer devour men, and no longer bereave your nation, declares the Master Yahweh. And no longer shall I let you hear the insults of the nations, and the reproach of the peoples. You shall bear no more, and no longer cause your nations to stumble, declares the Master Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own ways and deeds. To me their way was like the uncleanness of a woman in her monthly period. So I poured out my wrath on them for the blood they had shed on the land, and for their idols they defiled it. And I scattered them among the nations, and they were dispersed throughout the lands. I have judged them according to their ways and their deeds. And when they came to the nations, wherever they went, they profaned my set-apart name. For it was said to them, These are the people of Yahweh, yet they have gone out of his land. But I had compassion on my set-apart name, because which the house of Israel had profaned among the nations wherever they went. Therefore say to the house of Israel, Thus said the Master Yahweh, I do not do for your sake, O house of Israel, but for my set-apart name's sake, which you have profaned among the nations wherever you went. And I shall set apart my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned in their midst. And the nations shall know that I am Yahweh, declares the Master Yahweh. When I am set apart in you before their eyes, and I shall take you from among the nations, and I shall gather you out of all lands, and I shall bring you into your own land, and I shall sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols I cleanse you. And I shall give you a new heart, and put a new spirit within you. And I shall take a heart of stone out of your flesh, and I shall give you a heart of flesh, and put my spirit within you. And I shall cause you to walk in my laws, and guard my right rulings, and shall do them. And you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people, and I shall be your Elohim. And I shall save you from all your uncleanness, and I shall call for the grain and increase it, and I shall bring no scarcity of food upon you. And I shall increase the fruit of your trees and the increase of your fields, so that you need never again bear the reproach of scarcity of food among the nations. And you shall remember your evil ways and your deeds that were not good, and you shall loathe yourselves in your own eyes for your crookedness and your abominations. Not for your sake am I acting, declares the Master Yahuwah. Let it be known to you, be ashamed and blush for your ways, O house of Israel. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, on the day that I cleanse you from all your crookedness, I shall cause the cities to be inhabited, and the ruined places shall be rebuilt. And the land that was laid waste, tilled instead of being a ruin before the eyes of all who pass by. And they shall say, this land that was laid waste has become like the Garden of Eden, and the wasted, the deserted, and the destroyed cities are now walled and inhabited. Then the nations which are left all around you shall know that I, Yahuwah, have rebuilt the destroyed places and planted what was laid waste. I, Yahuwah, have spoken it, and I shall do it. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, once again I shall let the house of Israel inquire of me to do for them. I shall increase their men like a flock, as a set-apart flock, as the flock at Jerusalem at her appointed times. So shall the wasted cities be filled with flocks of men, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. The hand of Yahuwah was upon me, and took me out by the Spirit of Yahuwah, and set me down in the midst of the valley, and it was filled with bones. And he made me pass among them, all around, and see, there were very many on the surface of the valley, and see, they were very dry. And he said to me, Son of man, would these bones live? And I said, O Master Yahuwah, you know. Again he said to me, Prophesy to these bones, and you shall say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah to these bones, See, I am bringing into you a spirit, and you shall live. And I shall put sinews on you, and bring flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put a spirit in you, and you shall live, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. And I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and there was a rattling, and the bones came together, bone to bone. And I looked and saw sinew, and flesh came upon them, and skin covered them, but there was no spirit in them. He then said to me, Prophesy to the spirit. Prophesy, son of man. And you shall say to the spirit, Thus said the Master Yahuwah, Come from the four winds, O spirit, and breathe on these killed ones, so that they live. And I prophesied as he commanded me, and the spirit came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, a very great army. And he said to me, Son of man, these bones are all the house of Israel. See, they say, Our bones are dry, our expectancy has perished, and we ourselves have been cut off. Therefore prophesy, and you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuwah, See, O my people, I am opening your burial sites, and shall bring you up from your burial sites, and shall bring you into the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. When I open your burial sites, my people, and bring you up from your burial sites, and I shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, and I shall settle you in your own land, and you shall know that I, Yahuwah, have spoken, and I have done it, declares Yahuwah. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, And you, son of man, take a stick for yourself, and write on it, for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick, and write on it, for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. Then bring them together for yourselves into one stick, and they shall become one in your hand. And when the children of your people speak to you, saying, Won't you show us what you mean by these? Say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuwah, See, I am taking the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his companions, and I shall give them unto him with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. And the sticks on which you write shall be in your hand before their eyes. and speak to them. Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am taking the children of Israel from among the nations, wherever they have gone, and shall gather them from all around, and I shall bring them into their land. And I shall make them one nation in the land, on the mountains of Israel, and one sovereign shall be sovereign over them all. And let them no longer be two nations, and let them no longer be divided into two reigns. And they shall no longer defile themselves with their idols, nor with their disgusting matters, nor with any of their transgressions. And I shall save them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned, and I shall cleanse them, and they shall be my people, and I be their Elohim. While David my servant is sovereign over them, and they shall all have one shepherd, and walk in my right rulings, and guard my laws, and shall do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given to Jacob my servant, where your fathers dwelt, and they shall dwell in it, they and their children, and their children's children, forever. And my servant David be their prince, forever. And I shall make a covenant of peace with them, an everlasting covenant it is with them. And I shall place them and increase them, and shall place my set apart place in their midst, forever. And my dwelling place shall be over them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. And the nations shall know that I, Yahweh, am setting Israel apart, when my set apart place is in their midst forever. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Gog, of the land of Magog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And you shall say, Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am against you, O Gog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and I shall turn you around, and I shall put hooks in your jaws, and shall lead you out with all your army, horses and men, clad perfectly, a great assembly with armor and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Cush, and Put were with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all its bands, the house of Togarma, from the far north, and all its bands, many peoples with you. Be ready, prepare yourself, you and all your assemblies that are assembled unto you, and you shall be a guard for them. After many days you shall be called up. In the latter years you shall come to the land of those brought back from the sword and gathered from many people on the mountains of Israel, which had been a continual waste. But they were brought out of the peoples, and all of them shall dwell safely. And you shall go up, coming like a storm, covering the land like a cloud, you and all your bands and many peoples with you. Thus said the Master Yahweh, and it shall be in that day that words arise in your heart, and you shall devise an evil plan. And you shall say, Let me go up against a land of unwalled villages. Let me go up to those at rest who dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take plunder and to take booty, to stretch out his hand against the waste places that are again inhabited, and again a people gathered from the peoples, acquiring livestock and goods, who dwell in the middle of the land. Sheba and Devan, and the merchants of Tarshish, and all their young lions shall say to you, Have you come to take plunder? Have you gathered your armies to take booty, to bear away silver and gold, to take away livestock and goods, to take great plunder? Therefore, son of man, prophesy, and you shall say to Gog, Thus said the Master Yahweh, In that day, when my people Israel dwell safely, would you not know? And you shall come from your place, out of the far north, you and many peoples with you, all of them riding on horses, a great assembly and a mighty army. And you shall come up against my people Israel like a cloud, to cover the land. In the latter days it shall be, and I shall bring you against my land, in order that the nations know me, when I am set apart in you, O Gog, before their eyes. Thus said the Master Yahweh, Are you the one I spoke of in former days, by my servants the prophets of Israel, who prophesied for years in those days to bring you against them? And it shall be on that day when Gog comes against the land of Israel, declares the Master Yahweh, that my wrath shall come upon shall come up in my face. For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath I have spoken. On that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, so that the fish of the sea, and the birds of the heavens, and the beasts of the field, and all creeping creatures that creep on the earth, and all the men who are on the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall fall to the ground. And I shall call for a sword against Gog on all my mountains, declares the Master Yahweh, the sword of each one being against his brother. And I shall judge him with pestilence and blood, and rain down flooding rain and hailstones, fire and sulfur, on him and on his bands and on the many peoples who are with him. And I shall exalt myself and set myself apart, and I shall be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. And you, son of man, prophesy against Gog, and you shall say, Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am against you, O Gog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, and shall turn you around, and lead you on, and bring you up from the uttermost parts of the north, and bring you against the mountains of Israel, and shall strike the bow out of your left hand, and make the arrows fall from your right hand. On the mountains of Israel you shall fall, you and all your bands and the peoples who are with you. To the bird of prey of every wing, and to the beast of the field I shall give you for food. On the face of the field you shall fall, for I have spoken, declares the Master Yahweh. And I shall send fire upon Magog and on those who live undisturbed in the coastlands. They shall know that I am Yahweh, and I shall make my set-apart name known in the midst of my people Israel, and not let my set-apart name be profaned any more. And the nations shall know that I am Yahweh, the set-apart one in Israel. See, it shall come, and it shall be done, declares the Master Yahweh. This is the day of which I have spoken. And those who inhabit the cities of Israel shall go out and set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the armor, the bows and the arrows, the clubs and the spears, and they shall make fires with them for 7 years. And take no wood from the field, nor cut down any from the forest, for with the weapons they make fire. And they shall plunder those who plunder them, and loot those who looted them, declares the Master Yahweh. And it shall be on that day that I give Gog a place for a burial site there in Israel, the valley of those passing by east of the sea, and stopping those passing by, because there they shall bury Gog and all his crowd, and shall call it the valley of Hamon Gog. And the house of Israel shall bury them for 7 new moons, in order to cleanse the land. And all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be for a name to them on the day that I am esteemed, declares the Master Yahweh. And they shall separate men who continually pass through the land, burying those who were passing through, those left on the surface of the ground, in order to cleanse it. At the end of 7 new moons they shall search, and those passing through shall pass through the land. And when anyone sees a man's bones, he shall set up a sign beside it, till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Hamon Gog. And also a city named Hamona shall be there, so they shall cleanse the land. And you, son of man, thus said the Master Yahweh, say to the bird of every wing, and to every beast of the field, Assemble yourselves and come. Gather from all around to my slaughtering, which I am slaughtering for you, a great slaughtering on the mountains of Israel. And you shall eat flesh and drink blood. Eat the flesh of the mighty, drink the blood of the princes of the earth, of rams and lambs, of goats and bulls, of all the fatlings of Bashan. And you shall eat fat till you are filled, and drink blood till you are drunk, at my slaughtering which I am slaughtering for you. And you shall be satisfied at my table with horses and riders, with mighty men, and with all the men of battle, declares the Master Yahweh. And I shall set my esteem among the nations, and all nations shall see my judgment which I have executed, and my hand which I have laid on them. And the house of Israel shall know that I am Yahweh their Elohim from that day onward. And the nations shall know that the house of Israel went into exile for their crookedness, because they have trespassed against me, so that I concealed my face from them, and I gave them into the hand of their adversaries, and they all fell by the sword. According to their uncleanness and according to their transgressions I have dealt with them, and concealed my face from them. Therefore thus said the Master Yahweh, now I am going to bring back the captives of Jacob, and shall have compassion on all the house of Israel, and shall be jealous for my set-apart name. And they shall have borne their shame, and all their trespass they committed against me, when they dwell safely in their own land, with none to make them afraid. When I have brought them back from the peoples, and gathered them out of the lands of their enemies, and I shall be set apart in them before the eyes of many nations. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, their Elohim, who sent them into exile among the nations, and then gathered them back to their own land, and left none of them behind. And no longer do I conceal my face from them, for I shall have poured out my spirit on the house of Israel, declares the Master Yahweh. In the 25th year of our exile at Rosh Hashanah, that's coming up, on the oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Rosh Hashanah means head of the year, so start of the year. On the 10th of the new moon, in the 14th year after the city was stricken, on that same day, by the hand of Yahweh came upon me, and he brought me there. In visions of Elohim, he brought me into the land of Israel, and set me on a very high mountain, and upon it toward the south was a structure of a city. So he brought me there, and look, a man whose appearance was like the appearance of bronze, and a line of flax, and a measuring rod in his hand, and he stood in the gateway. And the man said to me, Son of man, see with your eyes and hear with your ears, and set your heart on all that I am showing you, for you were brought here in order to show them to you. Declare to the house of Israel all that you are seeing. And look, a wall around the outside of the house, and in the man's hand a measuring rod 6 cubits long, each being a cubit and a handbreadth. And he measured the width of the wall structure 1 rod, and the height 1 rod. Then he came to the gate facing east, and he went up its stairs and measured the threshold of the gate 1 rod wide, and the other threshold one rod wide, and the little room 1 rod long and 1 rod wide, and between the little rooms a space of 5 cubits, and the threshold of the gate inwards from the porch of the gate. From the porch of the gate was 1 rod. Then he measured the porch of the inside gate 1 rod, and he measured the porch of the gate 8 cubits, and its post 2 cubits. And the porch of the gate was on the inside, and the little rooms of the east gate, 3 on one side and 3 on the other, all 3 of the same size, and posts were of the same size on the side and that side, on this side and that side. And he measured the width of the entrance of the gate 10 cubits, and the length of the gate 13 cubits. And the border in front of the little rooms 1 cubit on the side and 1 cubit on that side, and the gate room was 6 cubits on that side and 6 cubits on that side. On this side and 6 cubits on that side. And he measured the gate from the roof of one little room to the roof of the other. The width was 25 cubits, door to door. And he measured the post 60 cubits high, even to the post of the courtyard all around the gate. And from the front of the entrance gate to the front of the porch of the inner gate was 50 cubits. And there were narrowed window frames in the little rooms, and to their post at the inside of the gate all around, and for the porches too. And there were windows all around on the inside, and on each post were palm trees. And he brought me into the outer courtyard, and look, rooms and a pavement made all around the courtyard, 30 rooms on the pavement. And the pavement was by the side of the gates, equal to the length of the gates, the lower pavement. And he measured the width of the front of the lower gate to the front of the inner courtyard on the outside, 100 cubits toward the east and the north. In the gate of the outer courtyard facing north, he measured its length and its width, and its little rooms, 3 on this side and 3 on that side. Its posts and its porches had the same measurements as the first gate. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits. And its windows and its porches and its palm trees had the same measurements as the gate facing east, and they went up to it by 7 steps, and its porch was in front of it. And the gate of the inner courtyard was opposite the northern gate, and at the eastern gate he measured from gate to gate 100 cubits. And he took me toward the south, and look, a gate toward the south. And he measured its posts and porches according to these measurements. And windows were in it, and in its porches all around like those windows. Its length was 50 cubits, and its width 25 cubits. And 7 steps led up to it, and its porch was in front of them, and it had palm trees on its post, and on one on this side and one on that side. And the inner courtyard had a gate toward the south, and he measured from gate to gate toward the south 100 cubits. And he brought me to the inner courtyard through the south gate, and he measured the southern gate according to these measurements. And its little rooms and its posts and its porches were according to these measurements, and windows were in it, and in its porches all around, 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. And there were porches all around, 25 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. And its porches were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its post, and 8 steps led to it. And he brought me into the inner courtyard toward the east, and he measured the gate according to these measurements. And its little rooms and its posts and its porches were according to these measurements, and windows were in it, and in all its porches all around, 50 cubits long and 25 cubits wide. And its porches were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its post on this side and on that side, and 8 steps led up to it. And he brought me to the north gate, and he measured it according to these measurements. Its little rooms, its posts, and its porches, and it had windows all around. Its length was 50 cubits, its width 25 cubits. And its posts were toward the outer courtyard, and palm trees were on its posts on this side and that side, and 8 steps led up to it. And there was a room with an entrance by the post of the gate, where they washed the ascending offering. And in the porch of the gate were 2 tables on this side and 2 tables on that side, on which they slay the ascending offering, and the sin offering, and the guilt offering. And on the other side, as one went up to the entrance of the north gate, were 2 tables, and on the other side of the porch of the gate were 2 tables. 4 tables were on the side, and 4 tables were on that side. By the side of the gate, 8 tables on which they slew. There were 4 tables of hewn stone for the ascending offering, 1 cubit and a half long, 1 cubit and a half wide, 1 cubit high. On these they placed the instruments which they slew the ascending offering and their slaughterings. And the double hooks, a handbreadth wide, were fastened all around. And on the tables was the flesh of the offerings. And on the outside of the inner gate were the rooms for the singers in the inner courtyard, one at that side of the north gate and facing south, and the other at the side of the south gate facing north. And he said to me, This room facing south is for the priests who guard the duty of the house, and the room facing north is for the priests who guard the duty of the slaughter place. They are the sons of Zadok from the sons of Levi, who come near Yahweh to serve him. And he measured the courtyard 100 cubits long and 100 cubits wide, a square. And the slaughter place was in front of the house. And he brought me to the porch of the house, and measured the doorpost of the porch, 5 cubits on this side and 5 cubits on that side. And the width of the gate was 3 cubits on this side and 3 cubits on that side. The length of the porch was 20 cubits, and the width 11 cubits. And by the steps which led up to it, there were columns by the doorpost on this side and one on that side. I know it's important, but reading design measurements is not my highlights. I wish there was a picture of what this looks like, because in my mind I keep wanting to, like, for some reason, like, the center is the thing, and then like it's got rooms going out of it, but I think it's more like a big circle thing. It's got layers to it, and like you go through the first gate, and then there's another gate, and you got to go through that gate, and then you're at the inner place. I don't know though. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, basically, we're talking about building the temple at this point in time. But anyway, let's see. Let's go back because there was something. I think it was in 36. We're going to be brought back. A lot of people make a lot of stink about 38. This isn't going to happen for a long time. For a long time. In the latter years, you shall come into the land of those brought back from the sword and gathered from many people on the mountains of Israel. That hasn't happened yet. It's not the latter years because that hasn't happened yet. We might be getting there. We're getting close probably, but like this isn't wartime. The 2 stick thing, right? We've been tracking that all along. There's the stick of Judah and the stick of Israel. Obviously, technically speaking, they're all one, but because of the split that happened after Solomon died, it gets hairy. But anyway, it's all going to come back together. And after some of the best way to describe it, some of the abominations that have been happening by quote unquote Israel at this point in time, I keep thinking, I'm like, maybe they're not so bad. Maybe that Israel is a remnant returned, and it could be. But man, they are. I think this is a lot of Second Kings that's going on. They're doing a lot of fighting that they probably didn't necessarily ask about. Or First Kings, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, may Yahweh bless you and guard you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahweh lift up his face upon you and give you peace. Thus they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I myself shall bless them. Shalom, shalom.